Dear colleagues, we continue our working day at Ukraine Crisis Media Center, and I give the floor to Colonel Andriy Lysenko, spokesman of the presidential administration on ATO-related issues, about the newest information about the events in the ATO area during the last 24 hours. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Now the information about the events in the ATO area and about training of Ukrainian servicemen. In Lugansk area yesterday, the situation was calm. Military actions were starting at 9 p.m. and lasted until midnight. In Novatoshkivska-Bakhmutska highway, the enemy used mortars. Also, the enemy violated ceasefire in Lapasne, Shastya region, and also Zolote and Popasnyanska region. On the whole, during the last 24 hours in Lugansk area, there were 5 enemy shellings. Donetsk area, the situation remains mainly the same. The main military actions were carried out at the front line between Novoselivka, Druga, Avdiivka, Opytne, Nevelske. Heavy mortar shellings of our position started after 3 p.m. and lasted till midnight. In Avdiivka production area, there were military clashes between ATO forces and the militants. The subversive group advanced our positions, numbering 8 people, and to destroy this subversive group, our servicemen delivered fire for 1 hour, and the enemy asked for mortar support, and under the cover of mortar fire, the enemy retreated. Also, 2 militants died and 3 were wounded. And after this clash, ATO forces seized machine gun and radio station of the militants. After this, the enemy reinforced fire using artillery in Avdiivka. Also, the enemy destroyed 6 houses of residents. Fortunately, no casualties. Also yesterday, the enemy violated ceasefire at Svetlodarska Bulge, Gorlovka and Pisky. On the whole, the Donetsk area, there was 1 military clash, 27 enemy shelling, including 13 with the use of heavy weapons. In Mariupol area, the day started tense, and from 4 a.m. till 7 a.m. the enemy delivered fire with the use of heavy weapons near Krasnogorovka and Talakivka. The enemy used 82mm and 122mm cannons and tanks. Also, the enemy damaged the school, the wall of the school number 1. The epicenter of the military clash yesterday was Marienka. Afternoon, the militants delivered sniper fire at our positions. This firing lasted till evening, and after 7 p.m., infantry platoon of Russian occupation forces directly attacked, and they tried to take our position, and the military action lasted for 2 hours, and the enemy sustained losses and retreated. At the same time, near Marienka, but at our other positions, there was 1 more military clash. These events followed the scenario. There were 30 militants under the cover of trees and houses. They advanced, trying to take our position. And after an hour firing, assault crew, there were 10 militants, and they tried to seize our position. And the actions of the occupants were coordinated by observation point, but it was timely revealed and destroyed by our servicemen. And after this, the militants retreated and sustained losses. And In this military clash, the enemy used machine guns and grenade launchers, but also they used modern sniper rifles of 12.7 millimeter of caliber. Also, in the evening, the enemy continued heavy mortar and artillery shelling in Krasnogorovka and Talakivka.
During the 24 hours in Mariupol sector, there were 24 combats using the heavy weaponry in 11 cases. Yesterday, the Donetsk sector, the enemy used 3 drones for the aerial reconnaissance purposes over the last 24 hours as a result of the active combat activities. None of our servicemen were killed, but 5 were wounded. Losses of our enemy over the last 24 hours, the losses were inflicted on the so-called 3rd and 7th Brigades and 6th and 11th and 9th regiments of Russian occupation troops. All in all, 11 occupationists were killed and 14 wounded. Some of the names of the severely wounded militants: Boris Terещенko, Denis Denisov, Alexander Potsylov, Ivan Belый. Besides, over the last 4 days, in 2 hospitals in Donetsk, because of the lack of the medications and improper medical aid, 9 wounded previously militants died, and the conditions for 48 more occupationists deteriorated, who were heavily wounded in the Donetsk sector. Taking into consideration big losses, the command of the enemies decided to recall from the leaves the members of the illegal armed formations of all categories in order to come to the front line. Being afraid of the development of the active combat actions, their militants tried to avoid the front line, and because of the sick leaves and family reasons, etc., with travel and documents problems, etc. The SBU employees found 2 more caches with the ammunition near the ATO zone. Not far from Krasnogorovka in the Donetsk region, the law enforcement officers found 2.5 kilograms of artillery charges, and also near the Nezhko Novoydar district, Lugansk region, they found 23 grenades and over 1,000 cartridges. The large-scale exercise Ukrainian servicemen are in progress. In the south of Ukraine, the Sea Breeze 2016 exercise is in progress. The military divers from Ukraine, United States, UK, and Romania focus their attention on the search, inspection, and the elimination of the explosive devices. Also, they use the state-of-the-art underwater equipment, anti-magnetic equipment, and the side-looking radar and mobile pressure chamber, etc. The border guards of the desk and the detachment of the Coast Brigade completed the first stage of Sea Breeze 2016, including the rescue of the overboard persons, the inspection of the suspicious vessels, etc. The Armed Forces of Ukraine started the second stage of the Southern Wind 2016 exercise, and this exercise will last for another week. The President of Ukraine awarded 163 Ukrainian servicemen, participants of ATO. One of the awarded fighters is Lieutenant Igor Babayan, who since March 2016 has been engaged in the Avdiivka industrial zone. On April 19, this brave officer, together with his comrades in arms, ruined the well-camouflaged dugout from which the militants shot at the Ukraine positions. They eliminated this dugout using the anti-tank grenade launcher. Later, Babayan was wounded in the arm, but continued to take care of the combat task. Owing to his resolute actions, the militants remained without a very important firing dugout, and the officer was awarded with the Bogdan Khmelnytsky Orders, third class. Another serviceman, the owner of the order for courage of third class, the private first class Alexander Deineka, in August 2014, together with his group, actually captured the truck of the enemy. The operation was successful, and owing to their actions, 6 militants were captured, and they also captured a big ammunition hold, 70